Hello everyone, my name is Mark Christian Amador and I'm here to present our library management system project. This system is designed to streamline the process of borrowing and returning books, making it easier for the users. The core of the system is a Java GUI application with a robust backend, and the code we're looking at today focuses on the initial setup of the library's book database. Okay, now start the private static string books. This section is defined as a 2D array called books that stores information about our books in the library. And next, each row of the array represents a book. Example, column 1 is about book ID, column 2 column 1 kasi yung una is column 0, column 1 the image file name where the cover of the book is located, then column 2 author, column 3 the book title, and column 4 genres. Column 5 is a short description or the summary of the book. Let's start by application, the main method. This is the first line of the code that gets executed when you run our program. It's like a starting point of our program, setting everything in motion. Then the line event queue invokes later. It's a bit technical, but it's crucial for making sure our GUI is created and being displayed properly. Okay. Then inside this, the invoke later block, we create our main window, which we've named GUI, LMS. This LMS object is like the blueprint for our entire library systems interface. It's where we'll define all the buttons, text fields, and other elements that users will interact with. And finally, we have the frame set visible true. Is the magic line that makes our window visible to the user. Now the user can see and interact with our management system. And then the next, we have the static variables. Show the static variables. In this library management system, we of course utilize the static variables to manage and control various UI components efficiently. Now, why static? Because these variables belong to the class itself, not individual instances, meaning they are shared across the entire program, ensuring consistency and accessibility without needing to create multiple objects. These static variables handle everything from navigation, buttons, and search functionality to transaction tracking, borrowing and returning books. By keeping them static, we streamline operation, maintain a structure design, and create seamless user experience throughout the system. And then we have the UI. First, we configure the main window to ensure a proper behavior and usability. This is where we start the window. Here we in the first line closes the program properly when the window is closed. The second is prevents resizing to maintain a structured layout, and the third sets a fixed position and size for better display. And then the set location relative null is it centers the window for users convenience, and these settings assure a stable and user friendly experience when launching the application. Now next is creating the main content pane. Next we set up the main panel, which will hold all the UI components, and then the first line is to make a clean white background. It's for the readability for the user, and then we set the border padding for the structured appearance of the UI, and then the absolute positioning to precisely place components. This serves as the foundation for the rest of the interface, ensuring that everything is displayed properly. Next is of course organizing the interface sections. To structure the application, we organize different function into separate sections. First one is the layout history. In this history section, we track the borrowed and returned books. Next is the filter section. So in this section, we allow the user to search books by category and status. And next one is borrowing section. This is where users input details to borrow books, of course, and then the return section, where books are processed for return. Next is search bar. This search bar enables quick lookup for the books, and then each section is initialized separately, making the interface modular and easier to manage. And additionally, we add a dummy borrower for testing to simulate the real data. Okay, and next is displaying the available books. Next here we set up the library panel to display a books and wrap it in scroll pane for better navigation. The first line uses a grid layout to organize the book neatly for our users' convenient, and then we add spacing between the books for structured look, ensures all the books are displayed properly to make it more organized. And since the number of books may exceed the visible area, we wrap the panel in a scroll pane for, of course, easier borrowing. And then the next allows for the smooth scrolling. The next line is for allowing a smooth scrolling when borrowing books, and then improves usability by making all the books accessible. And then next is adding navigation and UI components. To complete the interface, we add a navigation bar, header and footer for a of course good and neat professional look. Then for the display, we display navbar, provides a quick access sections for everything, for searches for everything. And then the header displays the title or the logo or the cover of the books, the logo of the title of the library. And then the footer, it includes the additional information. And of course, finally, we set the content pane as the main interface, ensuring all the elements are properly managed and functional. In conclusion, this constructor ensures that our borrowing system is well organized, easy to use, and fully functional. By carefully setting up the window, structuring sections, displaying books, and organizing navigation, we create a smooth user-friendly experience for managing library transactions. And that's it for me. Thank you everyone for listening, and goodbye.
Provides a user interface for a library system. It contains header, display navbar with containing buttons, which is return book, borrow, and such. And let's move on to display header. The display header is, nag-set po kami dito ng J-level, and yung J-level na yun, ang title nun is Library Managed System. Tapos etong Search Vertical Alignment, para lang ito malagay namin sa top, while etong horizontal alignment, para naman siya malagay sa left. Parang nilagay lang naman siya sa top left ng content namin. And dito set bounds is x-axis, which is 50, tapos yung y naman is 30, and width and height is 670 and 60. Tapos inad lang namin siya sa content pane label, yung header. Tapos dito na tayo sa navbar. Sa navbar is nag-set naman tayo ng panel. Dito sa panel na to, dito naman natin ilalagay yung mga buttons. Dito meron siyang layout na 1, 0, 10, 10, and tapos dito na tayo sa navigation button. Dito sa navigation button is meron tayong default, history, filter, borrow, and return. Etong default that bit and set enabled false, para lang siyang hindi magpipindot pag nag-start yung program. Ibig sabihin, wala pang napipindot dito sa mga buttons na to. So, dito naman tayo sa sa function nila. Dito, sinet to lahat ng false para malaman if sa isang button na yon is kung may binuksan sa kanila. And tapos dito na sa handle default if get source. Etong get source na to is dito ito yung naglalagay para malaman kung alin yung button na clinic niya. Dito kapag parang pag naka-default siya is ang mangyayari sa library panel, matatanggal siya, tapos yung filter mare-reset, then yung search bar is maki-clear din. Kaya wala siyang ganito ng laman dito. Tapos yung default button is hindi na siya magiging enabled. And ang mangyari dito, babalik lang yung dating book list, mare-refresh siya. So dito naman sa dito naman sa mga buttons. Dito sa ito get source, siya ulit yung nag-ano ng mga button. Dito if history is enabled, hindi siya enabled kasi may not, and kaya ngayon dahil hindi siya naka-enabled, ginawa natin history panel, sinet visible natin siya sa true. Pag naka-true yan, ibig sabihin yung buttons na borrow, nav return, and nav filter, sila disabled. Parang pinapakita lang niya na ang magiging visible lang yung history panel. And next naman, etong dalawang to, ang ginagawa nila para dito dinidisplay yung currently borrowed, and return books. Tapos ang mangyayari sa mga default na yung default and yung mga library panels, hina-hide nila to. Kaya ang mangyayari, yung default button is naka-false siya, yung library pane naka-false din, and yung search panel naka-false din. And etong transaction history na kapag pinindot mo yung yung button na etong default, yung transaction history na ang mangyari, magiging close siya, and yung history naman is magiging naka-2 and it will be enabled. Dito naman sa pag nag-else ka, ibig sabihin ang mangyari, magko-close silang lahat ay wait. Ang here's and magpo-false naman siya, and yung ibang ang magto-true. Dito sa else, ang mangyayari dito, yung history panel is hindi na siya magiging visible, and Ang magiging enabled naman is etong na-borrow buttons, nav-return, and nav-filter. Etong dalawa, kung i-compare nyo dito, parang mawawala na yung history panels kasi null na siya compare dito na naglagay pa ng borrow panel and return panel. And dito, mag-show na yung default na button, search panel, and library pane. Tapos, eto, set text history. And dito naman, lalabas lang to kapag yung naka-history is enabled is equal to false. Tapos, lahat yan ng ma-apply na dito sa nav filter, nav borrow, nav return, nav return, and ayun. Tapos, dito naman tayo sa action listeners. Dito, ilagay natin yung action listeners ng mga function na yun sa ma-apply yun dito sa buttons. Dito, ma-apply sila sa default buttons, add action listener, nav filter, nav borrow, and nav return. Tapos, eto na yung navigation panel. Dito nilagay natin yung transaction history na nav, and sa panel din na to nilagay natin yung nav filter, sunod nilagay natin nav borrow and nav return. Tapos may sinets bound sila sa 400 na width and height. Tapos eto na dito yung components ng content pane. Dito yung nilagay yung default button, and dito naman nilagay yung panel para sa content pane. Ayan lang.
Okay. Okay, moving on to the next method. It's called layout history. So this method is responsible for displaying the borrowing history of users in an organized manner. So, bale, ang ginagawa nito, meron kasi kaming navigation bar sa system namin. And isang option doon is yung history. So, pag pinindot mo yung history, ito yung lalabas. Ito yung responsible doon. Okay, ngayon, paano ba siya dineclare? Una, siyempre, we initialize the history panel. And then, ayan, basic customization, set layout null, so we can customize it. Yan. And then, sa loob ng history panel, merong panibagong 3 panel for borrow, returned, and borrowed. And then we set its layout to new grid layout with dynamic rows and 1 columns. So, ang nagagawa nito, para magpatong-patong yung mga bagong information or data na mako-collect ng borrow, returned, or borrowed. Current borrowed, returned, and borrowed. And then next, J-scroll pane. We create scroll panes for each sections so that pwedeng ma-scroll yung each section kasi nga nagpapatong-patong para makita natin lahat. Ngayon, dito simple customization, set bounds, get vertical scroll bar, and then i-add sa history panel. Currently borrowed pane history, ayan, i-add lang sa history panel. Same dito sa return pane, i-add lang siya sa history panel. Ngayon, next is yung mga J-label. Yung mga J-label na to is yung indication kung ano ba yung nakalagay. At ito yung indication for each panel. So, para malaman mo kung anong panel ba yun. For borrowed, currently borrowed, and returned. And then, ayun, history panel, isa-set natin siya, set visible as false initially kasi hindi pa naman natin siya gusto ipakita. Papakita pa lang natin siya kapag kinilik na ng user yung history. And then another initialization for transaction panel. Same same lang to nung kanina dito. Same lang din siya sa taas, yung sinabi ko kanina. Pero, ang, pero ano kasi siya, sa ibang, sa ibang, sa ibang panel naman siya magpapakita. Ang laman nito is currently borrowed lang din and returned borrowed na books. Pero iba yung panel niya, iba yung panel na pinaglalagyan niya. Pero yung data na nasa loob nun is same as sa kanina. Kung anong laman ng isa, yun din yung laman nito. Pero magkaiba yung pin. So meron tayong total na limang panel. And then dito, J-label, currently borrowed label return. Yan lang din yung indication kung ano ba yung nilalaman ng isang panel na naka-display sa screen, syempre. And then dito, i-add lang natin lahat ng panel, lahat ng pin pala and label and such mga components, i-add lang natin siya sa transaction panel. And then lastly, set visible false lang muna natin yung transaction panel kasi hindi pa naman natin siya ipapakita initially. And then, lahat ng yon i-add natin sa content pane. Lahat ng transaction panel, i-add natin sa content pane. And yun lang para sa sa layout history.
Po sa part na to, i-discuss naman po ay yung sa about naman po ng sa search bar po. First po, we begin by creating a JPanel that dedicated to hold both search bar and search button. And by setting the layout po ng Nanal, we gain the flexibility to position these elements precisely where we want them on the panel. And this custom layout allows for greater control over the appearance and functionality of our search interface. And sunod naman po ay yung text field po. Dito po sa text field po, yung user po pwedeng mag-type siya and mag-enter ng the specific terms or keywords po related po do sa books and author pong hinahanap nila. And next naman po, to complement po ng text field, we add a search button po. And this button po plays a crucial role in the functionality of our search feature po. And it will be responsible for initiating the search process po. And sunod naman po, yung sa functionality naman po. Ito po. Sa functionality po, nag-add po kami ng action listener po doon sa search button. And this listener po is programmed to respond when the button is clicked. Ang first step po dito is yung process po is to check if the search bar is empty, and if it is po, the button will not take any preventing unnecessary operations. And if the search bar contain text po, dito naman po, if the search bar contains text, the program retrieves the input from the text field po, and it then performs few important steps, and it trims any leading or trailing spaces to ensure that relevant text is processed and converts the input to lowercase. And this conversion is essential, it makes the search case insensitive po, and allowing the users to type the books and authors they are looking for po without worrying po sa capitalization. And sunod naman po dito po, following this po, we cleared the library panel po of any existing content. And sa step po dito is a vital And this step po is vital as it prepares the panel to display only the result po dito po. That match the search query po. The program po ay papasok po sa loop. Then that goes through a predefined list of books and checking each title and authors po against the user's search query. And if the program finds any matches naman po, it will display naman po sa ano po. And if the program finds any matches po, it will display these books po within the library panel and making them easily accessible to the user. And once all the potential matches have been evaluated, we invoke po repaint and revalidate methods, and this function po work together to refresh the visual display of the panel and ensuring that the newly found search results are presented clearly and promptly po. And para po to enhance the user experience further po, we also update the scroll bar settings po to facilitate smooth navigation through the list of search results. And additionally po, nagdagdag po kami ng default button, and which is likely serves the function of resetting the search results po and providing users an easy way to start a new search if needed po. And thank you po. Yun lang po.
So, Dangal greetings, ma'am. My name is Claude Saturno Alvarez, and today I'm gonna explain our code, my part of the code with filter function methods. In summary, this code sets up actions for two buttons in the user interface. It is the filter button and the reset filter button. The goal of this code is to allow users to filter books by genre and reset those filters if needed. So the filter button, once it is clicked, it first collects the genres that the user has selected to checkboxes. Then, it passes the selected genres into a string and uses it to filter the books. Only the books that match the selected genres will be shown. Otherwise, it will not be shown. After filtering, the library panel where the books are displayed will remove any existing books and replace them with the filtered ones. If any books match the selected genres, they will be displayed on the screen. The scroll bar will also be adjusted to ensure that the user can see the newly filtered books. The button management, the default button will be enabled or disabled depending on how many books are being displayed. If all the books have been filtered out, the default button will be disabled, rendering it useless. Otherwise, it will remain active. Moving on to the enable borrowing, the ability to borrow books is enabled through the nav borrow button. The final step triggers a click on the filter button itself, though this part seems unnecessary or redundant. Moving on, we have the reset filter button. When the reset filter button is clicked, all the checkboxes are reset to their default state, unchecked. It also re-enables the checkboxes so that the user can select new genres if needed. So the summary of this code is that this code acts as a listener that handles user interactions when they click the filter or reset filter buttons. These buttons help the user filter books by genre and reset the filters if they want to start over. The code ensures that all UI elements are updated based on the action the user performs, making the interface smooth and easy to use. And that is all. Thank you very much, Madam.
So for the borrowing function, we created another layout method. So now for the layout borrow method, this is where we layouted the necessary panels for our borrowing function. So dito sa may borrow panel, dito namin siya dineclare and nilagyan ng proper layouting. Yung layout na manager namin is null so that we can position the elements freely. So, ang bounds namin, ang width at height nito is 850 pixels to 700 pixels. So, yung book panel, dito namin nilalagay yung mga book na sinelect ng user on which na gusto nila i-borrow. So, sa library panel, meron tayong borrow button na kapag sinelect nila yon, yung J-panel ng book na yun is mapupunta dito sa my book panel natin with proper bounds na 350 by 670 and proper proper placement. So for the J-panel naman, itong J-panel na to, dito nakalagay yung mga forms. So yung forms natin of course consist of J-labels and JText fields. So, ito yung label natin for header and subheader. The label for name, the label for student ID, book ID, and date. So, each of that has their own text fields. So, of course, the name text field, then mag-input yung user natin. The student ID na important to know the current borrowers kung of course, the same student cannot borrow a book. The same student cannot borrow a book twice. So, next naman is book ID. Ito yung dito mag-input si user ng selected book ID nila or when they click the borrow button sa may library panel, automatically na ito ma-fill out. Next naman is yung month field. Label natin. Of course, kailangan natin lagyan ng label yung month field natin na dito mag-input yung user either from between 1 to 12. So dito, of course, they can just input for example 1 for January. So dito namin explain na rin yung instructions. So next naman, of course, the month field. Next naman yung day field, same thing, label, then the text field, same din sa year, it has its own label and the text field. Next naman is yung submit button. Dito namin layout sa loob ng form na lalagyan namin ng action listener later on. Next naman is reset button na ang primary function is to reset of course the inputs and the book panel. So dito tatawagin natin yung add borrow function listener para mas maging neat. So, dito sa may add borrow function listener natin, nandito nagana yung mga buttons. So, next naman is yung i-add natin sa borrow panel yung form and sa content pane yung borrow panel of course. Next naman yung add borrow function listener natin. So, sa loob nito of course, dineclare natin yung ating listener na sa loob ay andun yung source. Natin malalaman kung ano yung kinlik. So, of course, we have this submit button when the user, and the source, of course, is the submit button, magkaroon to. So, first, meron tayong array of details. So, dito yung dito malalagay yung mga details na in-input ng user doon sa may text fields. So, first naman, yung student ID natin, tsaka book ID is numerical inputs. So, pinarse in muna natin siya so that makatch natin kung merong errors like, for example, hindi numerical yung inputs. So, now, dito naman, validate natin if the student ID is exactly 7 digits long. Katulad na sa ID natin sa PNC, na merong 7 digits, same lang din dito. Of course, it is a proper student ID dapat. So, of course, already borrowed muna natin. Declare lang natin ito false muna. Kasi ito yung mag-a-analyze, magbabalidate kung nakapag-borrow na ba yung user natin based sa kanilang student ID. So, if the index is greater than 0, of course, kung meron tayong current borrowers, of course, doon natin malalaman kung nakapag-borrow na ba yung same student using their student ID or not. So, itong currently borrowed books array, nandun siya sa may third index or number 2 index. Kapag nag-equal siya sa student ID text field sa in-input ng user, ibig sabihin the student already borrowed a book. So, mag-break siya to stop the loop from going on further, or kung hindi naman, then lalagay lang natin yung sa details number 2. Sa details, of course, index number 2, yung student ID na yun. Then, if it is false, if already borrowed is false, then saka natin ilalagay siya. Else naman kung hindi pa nakapag-borrow yung student natin, then nilagay natin siya sa details index 2, yung student ID na in-input ng user. But then, kung nakapag-borrow na talaga si student, then maglalagay tayo ng warning message na this student already borrowed the books to warn the librarians. Then we will reset the details array, and the already borrowed, babalik lang natin sa false, then bago tayo return para matigil natin yung yung method na submit button para walang mangyayari. Then kapag naman hindi 7 digits yung in-input ng user, sasabihin lang natin sila using an error message na they should enter a 7 valid numerical student ID number. Reset, then return. Reset, then return. Then, if the user naman ay nag-input ng invalid numerical value or letters and such, then mag-show tayo ng message dialog na error that they should enter a valid numerical value for book ID and 7 numerical value for student ID. Then reset before tayo mag-return. So next is the boolean found is equals to false. Dito natin nahanapin naman yung book ID na in-enter ng user. So based sa in-enter nila na book ID, if nag-exist yun sa database, then mababarrow nila yung ID na yun. So of course, to do that, kailangan natin mag-iterate sa lahat ng book database natin. Using for each string book. So now, nasa index 0 yung book ID natin. So kapag nag-equate siya dun sa may book ID na in-input ng user, then lalagay lang natin sa details array yun. Ibig sabihin, accepted na siya. Then book ID text field at get text. Book panel that add, create book panel. Parang ilalagay na natin siya dun sa may book panel natin sa right side para lang malaman ng user na yun talaga yung binarrow nila. Then found of course equals to true, then break. Kapag hindi naman natin nahanap yung book ID, ibig sabihin maggaranto. Mag-show lang tayo ng error message na book ID could not be found. Already borrowed is equals to false. Reset before tayo mag-return. So that para matigil na yung process. They could just of course enter na lang palit ng valid. Now dito naman we would validate the borrow date. The returns false, then show an error message to make sure that date is valid. So now of course reset them before returning. If index natin is of course greater than less than 30, doon lang natin siya i-accept. Doon lang talaga natin siya i-accept natin yung for example yung name. Wala naman tayong validation sa name. Of course, kailangan lang na proper yung pagkaka-input ni user. Then, lagay natin siya doon. If index ay, kasi ang maximum na makakapag-borrow only ay 30. So, doon natin siya ilalagay. Kapag hindi pa siya 30, pag less than 30 pa siya, of course, then doon natin siya ilagay. Pati yung transaction ID, kasi mag-generate tayo ng transaction ID na i-explain din later on currently borrowed books array, ito yung details na na dun nakalagay yung um, current details ng mga current borrowers para doon natin ma-identify kung naka-borrow, kung di pa ba nila nababalik yung libro. Kasi yun yung gagamitin natin to. Katulad kanina sa validation na yung same student ID ay hindi pwedeng mag-borrow again. So, dito naman sa book details array, currently borrowed book details array index, ito yung current index natin. Gagawa lang tayo ng text area na i-explain din later on, which is the create text area method. Detail is borrow date, of course. Ito lang yung parang sa borrow date natin, ayun yung label. So, borrowed panel that add create text area, borrow date. Ito yung sa yung borrowed panel, ito yung nasa history natin. Starting index is equals to index. So starting index kasi doon natin dito natin i-display mga current borrowed books. So starting index muna natin is yung current index natin before tayo mag-add. So nilagay lang muna natin siya sa starting index. Then before displaying the currently borrowed books method before calling it. So ayun, yung starting index natin ilalagay natin dito. I-explain din yun later on. Else naman, kung max borrow limit is reached, of course, kailangan natin magsabi ng message, error message. So, that the current borrowed books exceeds the 30 max limit. Then, reset before returning. If success, then, of course, magsabi lang tayo sa using JOption pin information message na successfully borrowed yung book. Then, re-reset lang natin yung mga details kasi tapos na tayo dito sa ating submit button action listener. Then next is the reset button. So lahat ng field re-reset lang natin that book ID text field kapag sa may library pane merong button doon na borrow. Pag kinlik nila yon, you cannot edit the book ID because parang ayun yung pinili mo. But then, kapag kinlik mo yung reset, magkakaroon ka ulit ng chance to edit that. So, magiging editable siya to true and focusable to true. So, we can enter again a book ID or borrow again sa library pane. So, clear lang natin yung book panel. Then, that's it. Then, we will add the action listener sa ating mga sa submit button and reset button. So, up next naman yung display currently borrowed books in starting index na sinabi ko kanina. So, yung starting index natin is yung current index natin. So, for int I starting index tapos I is less than the index, parang ibig sabihin lang na mag-run siya ng isang beses. Ano kasi ito? Dynamic. Pwede namin ilagay dito na 0 para mag-run to lahat. Para maglagay tayo ng current borrowed panel para ma-add niya lahat ng mga text areas. So dito, nag-run dito, nilalagay natin sa current borrow panel ay yung mga text areas which is currently borrowed books details array. So that is the text area. So that's it for display currently borrowed books. So that's all.
This code is validate. Then we use try catch. First is to convert input to string to integers. These methods convert the input to string for the month, day, and year into integers for further validation. Then next is valid year range. It checks whether the year is within the valid range of 90s to 20s. If it is outside the range, the method returns false, indicating it is invalid, which is kung mas bababa po siya sa 90s, then so sobra naman sa 20s, magre-return siya ng false, it is invalid. Then Next is to validate month range. This method verifies that the month is between 1 and 12. If the month is outside the range, it returns false. Then, ito naman ay kung bababa siya sa 1, then susubra sa 12, magre-returns po siya sa false. Then, next is to days in each month. Default February to 28 days. An array used to define the number of each days in each month with February initially set to 28 days. Then next is to adjust the February for leap years. If the month is February and the year is a leap year, the number of days in February is adjusted to 29. Then next is to validate range for the given month. This method checks if the day is within the valid range for the specified month. If the day is out of range for that month, it returns false. Then next is return true. If all conditions are met, the date is valid. If tama po lahat ng nilagay niyang date, then magre-return po siya na valid. Then next is sa cuts naman, which is magre-return siya ng false if kumari mag-input yung user ng hindi number, magka-cuts din siya na false. Then next is the leap method of leap year. This method returns true if a year is visible by 4 but not by 100 unless it is also divisible by 400, indicating its leap year, otherwise it returns false. Yun lang.
So ito, i-explain ko yung method ng construct date string. Ang construct date string method takes 3 parameters representing the month, day, and year. It first validates the input date using is validate method. If the date is invalid, it returns invalid date input. Otherwise, it converts the string input into integers. It then uses an array of month names to find the corresponding month name based on the numeric month input. The method constructs and returns a formatted date string in the format month, day, year. Example, January 1, 2025. So the next method is create text area. So ang ginagawa naman nitong method na to is create JText area object to display transaction details. It initializes the text area and set its prepared size to 200 by 130 pixels. The background color is set to gray and the text color is set to white for better contrast. The font is set to array with a plain style and size of 15. An empty border is added for padding. So the method enables line warping and ensures the words are warped properly. The text area is made non-editable and non-focusable. It then constructs a formatted string containing transaction details such as transaction ID, book ID, student name, student ID, and date. This string is set as the text content of the text area, which is then returned. So next is get transaction ID method. So this method is ba- straightforward. So ang ginagawa nitong method na to, it's retrieve current transaction ID by converting it to a string. Yan, convert it to a string. Then increment the transaction ID variable by 1 so that the next transaction gets a unique ID. Finally, it returns transaction ID as string. So next is add dummy browsers. So ang ginagawa naman nitong method na to, it's generate dummy borrowers pala. It's generate dummy borrower record for testing purposes. It first create an array of transaction IDs by calling the transaction ID. Saan yun? Itong transaction ID. Method multiplying multiple times, then initialize tree array. So ito ang tree array. Borrower dummies. It's contain details of all borrowed books, including book ID, student name, student ID, borrow date, and transaction ID. Next is currently borrowed dummies. It contains details of books that currently borrowed. Next is return dummies. So it's contain details of book that have been returned. Yan. So next is this method then adds this dummy borrower record to their respective panels. So it loops through borrower dummies and add each borrower's details to the borrowed panel. Yan na. Then it's looped through the first five records in currently borrowed dummies, stores them in an array, and adds them to the current borrow panel. Next is it loops through return dummies and adds them to the return panel. So this ensures that sample borrower data is displayed in different sections of the system. So yun lang.
So for our return functionality, of course, we lay out our return panel. So here, our return panel has an width and height of 360 by 250. It has a absolute layout manager. Of course, it has a absolute layout manager. It has the title label, transaction ID label for user input of transaction ID. So our transaction ID is a text field. So it has the proper placement, layout, some design, horizontal alignment to center, and of course we need to add it to return panel, the same as the other components. Next is the mount field label. So same as the borrow function natin na merong date input, same lang din. Nilagyan natin siya ng label and the field input, field for input of month, day, and year. Up next is the return button. So of course we have the return button, same as the same as on the borrow function that we added, of course, a listener. Next naman is reset. Same thing, it would reset the input of the user sa ating return panel. Next naman, our label message for displaying the feedback. Up next is the adding the return function listener. So now I will explain the return function listener method. So for organized, di na namin nilagay yung mga listener directly sa may layout nila. Kung bagkos ginawa namin, nilagay namin sa different method, same as the others. So when you click the return button, of course, it would trigger all this. So of course, same as the borrow, meron tayong details again. Now, sa details array, din natin ilalagay yung mga newly added details. I mean, same details lang naman. Of course, we would have to retrieve it based sa transaction ID sa mga currently borrowed books. So basically, what we need to update, of course, is the date. Kasi meron tayong user update, user input for the date na ilalagay natin dito sa ating details na i-update natin. So, first, sa may transaction ID, gagamit tayo ng method na book index finder na i-explain ko later. Doon natin siya i-store sa location integer. Next naman, see if the transaction ID exists in the currently borrowed books. So, if borrow index finder transaction ID that get text is greater than -1, ibig sabihin nun, may nahanap tayong index. It could be 0 to, of course, hanggang 30. Up to 29, I mean, for the indexing. So, kapag negative yung return nitong borrow index finder, it means na hindi nag-exist yung transaction ID. Next, we will validate sa details, doon na natin ilalagay yung currently borrowed books array, di ba? Kasi nasa currently borrowed siya based sa location na nahanap natin sa borrow index finder. So you can determine from the naming of the method, it finds the index, and that is the location. Up next is the same as sa borrow functionality, meron din tayong validator, of course, sa date na na-explain na earlier. So now, if valid yung date, lalagay lang natin siya sa details, number 13, index 3. So, ibig sabihin, yung former na nakalagay dun sa details natin dito na date, of course, ma-update yun. Ma-update siya into sa in-input natin ngayon sa pagre-return ng book using the transaction ID. Else, if hindi siya valid, of course, we would have to warn our user using the error message that make sure the date is valid. So, same thing, reset the array before returning so that di magkaroon ng errors. So, remove the return book from the borrowed list. Of course, kapag sa currently borrowed natin, kapag nag-return na si user, mapupunta siya sa return panel, pero mawawala dapat siya sa currently borrowed books. Of course, kasi ni-return na, hindi na siya currently borrowed now. So, up next is babawasan natin yung index natin. Of course, nasabi na earlier na ang index, nag-a-add siya kapag nag-borrow tayo ng books, but then, dito naman, mababawasan siya ng isa. Ibig sabihin na, nabawasan yung currently borrowed books natin na need natin i-track. So, now, di-display lang natin yung currently borrowed books again. And, yung sinabi ko kanina na starting index. So, ni-remove all natin. Ibig sabihin, wala nang laman si currently borrowed panel. Then, dilagyan uli natin using this one. By starting the index at 0, ibig sabihin, ira-run niya lahat ng text areas. So, next naman si return panel. Sa return panel, of course, need natin i-add yung na-return natin ngayon. So, basically, that's it. Create text area, details naman, imbis na borrow date, return date. Para nakalagay sa label, return date, then the date. Up next is, magsasabi lang tayo ng message na successfully return na yung book. Then, done. Else, kung hindi nag-exist ang transaction ID, we would have to show a JOption message dialog na error message saying transaction ID does not exist. So, reset uli the details and before returning. Next naman, if ang reset natin ay na-trigger, ibig sabihin we would have to reset, of course, the user input fields the transaction ID, and the month, day, and year. Next, of course, we would have to add action listener to them. Next is C, borrow index finder and array deleter. So dito, need natin dito ipasa yung transaction ID, which is yung nakalagay kanina, transaction ID text field that get text. Ito yung papasa natin dito, which is the transaction ID. Iraran lang natin hanggang sa current index natin, ibig sabihin sa currently borrowed books na merong lamang transaction IDs. So currently borrowed books array dito yung ating transaction ID that equals ignore case the transaction ID natin. Return natin si I, which of course means the index. Return natin siyang integer value ng index natin. Else, ang return natin ay -1. Ibig sabihin, it doesn't exist. Invalid input. Up next, of course, it validated naman lahat ng inputs. If tama naman lahat, we would have to delete the array. We would have to delete the index of the one that is being currently returned. So we can do that by of course the target location natin by finding the index. So ayun yung location natin now. Papasa lang natin dito less than the index, of course, current index. Tapos parang i-move lang natin yung pwesto niya by using this logic. Currently borrowed books array, the current target will be equated to currently borrowed books array sa kasunod niya. So ibig sabihin, kapag ito, parang mag-move lang siya sa gusto nating i-delete. So that's it. Same lang din dito sa book details array, which means the text areas. Same lang din, of course, kailangan din kasi natin yung i-delete. So that is all for the return function.
Hello and good day guys, I'm Andre, and for this video, I'm going to explain the create book panel method at ano nga ba ang gamit nito. Tara! First, ano nga ba ang method na ito? The create book panel method is a static function that creates a graphical user interface panel using Java Swing library. So, ang method na ito ay ginawa para i-display ang book information tulad ng book cover, title, author, genres, summary, and the book ID. This method is returned sa JPanel object containing these components. So first, in-initialize namin ang create book panel method at sa loob ay may argument ng string, array, book, and the boolean. The arguments are the actual values you pass to the methods when you call it. And in this case, the book array consists of 6 elements with each index corresponding to a specific piece of information. So ano-ano nga ba ang mga piece of information na ito? Sample. Ito, title, The Count of Monte Cristo. Then, the author is the Alexander Dumas, and the summary is as you can see here, a betrayed sailor escaped prisons, acquires immense wealth, and seek revenge on those who wronged him. Then, the genres are these: drama, adventure, action, and suspense. And here you can see the book ID number, and that represents this book ID is 1000, etc. So yun na nga, proceed na tayo kung paano ginagamit ang mga indices. First, the book ID. Book ID concatenated with the book array indices to 0. Then this serves as a unique identifier for the book, and it is placed using the J label at the bottom of the panel. Proceed tayo sa second, is the image path. Dito dinidisplay yung image nung book namin. So, the book array indices to 1. Then, this index stores the file name of the book cover image. The image fetched from the books directory, resized for display, and is set on a J label. The next one is the author's name in a book array indexes 2. The author's name is retrieved using this index. It is displayed below the title with a prefix by using a J label. Sample. Title is the gladiator, then the author is by, prefixed by. and the name of the author. The next one is the title. And a book array indices to 3. Then this index contains the book title. The title is displayed using the JText area with a bold formatting and the word wrapping for readability. As you can see, the title text is bigger than the others. The next one is the genres. In a book array indices to 4, genres are stored in this index as a string. They are displayed using the JText area with an appropriate font to distinguish them from the other text. Lastly is the summary. So in the summary, in a book array indices to 5, the summary is displayed using a JText area with the word wrapping and line breaks. Ano nga bang purpose ng method nito? The primary purpose of the create book panel method is to generate an organized and visual appealing panel that present the book information. It is particularly useful in applications such as book management system, e-commerce platform, or digital libraries. That is all in this video, guys, and I'll let my other group mates to explain to you the further information regarding to our library management system. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.
Display book. This method is responsible for displaying the variable books in the library. It loops through each book in the loop array. For each book, it calls the create book panel method, which you didn't provide but likely responsible for creating visual representation of the book. It adds each created book panel to the library panel. Finally, it calls its big stop screen bar to ensure the scroll bar is to the top when the books are displayed. Big stop scroll bar. This method makes for the vertical scroll bar in the library pane. It's always at the top after the books are displayed. It uses swing utility invert later to safety update the scroll bar on the event dispatch thread. Important of working with swing component. Add panel footer. This method creates a footer panel at the bottom of the main content frame. The footer will display copyright information and its list of names. It creates a panel for the footer and set its background color, size, and layout. It creates 2 labels. One are the copyright information and another for list name. It sets alignment, fonts, and position. It adds the boot label in the footer panel. Finally, it adds the footer panel to the content pane.
So for the long-awaited part after hours of coding, now we're going to test our application. So as you can see, andito yung ating database na naka-display na into a panel with according images and the title, the author, the summary, and the genres. So dito rin yung nakalagay yung ating borrow button na kapag kinlik natin ay mapupunta tayo sa borrow functionality ng ating program. So next, gonna show you lahat ng books. Ito siya lahat. And all has their own images, title, summary, and such. So next, I'm going to show you our search functionality. If you want to search for something like, for example, want to search for Crazy Rich Asians, we can just type in something like and of course CRA, Crazy Rich Asians, of course, has it on its title. And when we search for Kelvin naman sa, for example, sa author, we can also do that. So as you can see, yun pa rin yung ating, let me just show you our default functionality. So default, ang ginagawa nito, nire-reset nito yung view ng ating library. This is of course, the result ito yung result. Kapag kinlik natin yung default, mababalik siya sa library view, all books. As you can see, balik na ulit tayo. So, try naman natin yung author ng Crazy Rich Asians, which is si Kevin. So, kahit ganyan lang, lalabas pa rin dapat yun because KEV, so for Kevin. So, as you can see, nagana yung ating search functionality. Next naman is yung ating filter. Same thing with search, of course. This one naman, search for the genres. Want to search for poetries, we can just do this. And we can see our poetry books. Then we can just click, of course, we can click again the default. Kasi nasa result view tayo, ngayon babalik tayo sa library view. Next naman, we can search for only 3. Para magkaroon tayo ng result, nilimit namin yung genre search sa up to only 3. So, for example, nag-search tayo ng genres like fantasy, sci-fi, action, pero walang result, then ganito yung result nun. You can just, of course, click the default again para mabalik. So now, for example, mystery. So I want some mystery and sci-fi. We just go ahead and click filter. Now, we can see this. So, mystery, sci-fi, mystery, sci-fi, mystery, sci-fi. Yan yung mga result natin. So, gusto ko magbasa ng mystery, sci-fi books. And I want to borrow it. So, we can just go ahead and click it here. And lalabas na yung ating borrow function. And makikita nyo naman na kinlik ko si Maze Runner and ito yung lumabas dito with its according book ID. So, dito pwede na natin i-input yung name natin, our student ID, and the date. We can just go ahead and submit it, but as you can see, ang in-input ko lang na student ID ay 6. Ibig sabihin, ano siya, invalid. So, magkakaroon tayo ng error message. Pero inayos ko siya, but then yung date ko naman, for example, ay hindi maayos. So, wala tayong 13th na month. So, ito ang lalabas. Make sure that the date is valid. So, okay. Just go ahead and type a proper one. Then, as you can see, it is successfully borrowed. Okay. You just click ahead, click reset, then close. Tapos, pwede natin i-check sa history kung lumabas na ba dun yung me, kasi I am a current borrower. So, as you can see here, sa ating mga borrowed books and currently borrowed, kailangan hanapin natin yung panibagong nag-borrow na si Omar. So, yan. As you can see, meron tayong transaction ID, the book ID na gusto ko i-borrow, which is the Maze Runner, student's name, na in-input ko kanina, my student ID, and the date, borrow date. So, as you can see, nagana yung ating history. Ito naman, mga nakikita nyo dito, ito yung ating dummy na in-explain kanina sa isang method. This is the dummies na para matest natin yung program natin in history. Because using this, we could also, for example, yung mga dummies na to, hindi lang siya dummies basta-basta. Meron siyang according na data. For example, ito, may transaction IDC Abiad. We just close, return, you can try ahead and return it. So now we are on the return functionality. Type the transaction ID, day kung kailan siya nagbalik. So, as you can see ito, dito niya binaro noong January 1, tapos dito niya sinauli, for example. So, now we can go ahead and submit it. As you can see, it is successfully returned. Ngayon, wala na dito si Abiad. Of course, hindi na siya current borrower. Ngayon, pupunta siya dito dapat sa ating returned part. So, as you can see, the transaction ID 1000, book ID na in-enter niya, and of course, the date kung kailan niya binaro yung book. So, we will just go ahead and reset it. Then, Up next naman, for example, what if hindi nag-exist yung transaction ID? For example, ito, 1010 yung dulo natin, but then we go on ahead and type 1011. Tama naman yung input natin sa date. But then, hindi nag-exist yung transaction ID, right? So, ayan, lalabas to. Transaction ID does not exist. So, go ahead. Kaya sa uli kay Omar. What if mali naman yung date natin? 32, right? So, make sure date is valid. So, try natin. Sinuli niya next day. As you can see, it is successfully returned. Wala na dito si Omar, right? So, this is just a dummy. But then, this one is the real one. Ito, as you can see, it is now returned. Just go ahead and reset it. Close. So, as you can see, it is, you can just conveniently open and close the panels. That's it. That is all. Thank you.